Hi, this is Jim Sander with EverFi. Thank you so much for joining us for today's quick learning lab. We'll be focusing on the question of why it's important to talk about financial wellness with middle school students. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. First, we're going to check in with some FutureSmart educators who are currently teaching financial wellness skills to their students. Second, I'll give you a quick preview of the FutureSmart resource itself so you can see what the program looks like. Third, I'll give you a full step-by-step training on setting up your EverFi teacher account, give you a tour of the EverFi teacher dashboard, and show you how you can get this program in front of your students right away. And finally, I'll show you how to get additional support after today's learning lab. To get started, we're going to check in with some FutureSmart teachers who are currently using that resource as part of their strategy for helping develop financial literacy skills with their students. We're going to hear some of the important topics that are on their minds and how they're tackling these topics in their classrooms.
I can embed financial education or financial literacy when I teach entrepreneurship. It's a unit that it is embedded into entrepreneurship. So I think I don't necessarily run into issues, but it's an opportunity to begin a discussion about financial education. And because they are 8th graders, I like to have them start thinking about, some of them at 8th grade, the end of 8th grade in the summer, will start getting their first jobs. Thinking about doing driver's ed when they're in high school. And then that kind of leads us into talking about what's needed when they get their first car. What goes into not just ownership of a car, but some of the things that are needed. So it just kind of opens up, and they can relate to it because they're at that age. It's something relatable. We then talk about credit and debit and savings. So they have the basic foundation. They understand credit and debit. It gives me then an opportunity to take a basic concept and we can apply it to some real world concepts.
Bringing up things in discussion and talking about reality a little bit more. And a lot of times when we start talking about paying bills and things of that nature, I actually start introducing, when we start the housing interior design unit, we start with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so that they understand what are their basic needs. They understand that Wi-Fi is not a need. We can live without it, although these days and times it's not, I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like, they could live without so much the stuff that they think are needs are not needs. And so we talk about that. And I think that sets a good framework for as we get to financial literacy, as we get into career exploration, so that they can kind of see. But I also start with asking the question, okay, so how many of you pay your phone bill? How many of you pay for your water and your trash bill? And they're like, wait, you have to pay for that stuff? So I was like, yeah, somebody in your house is probably paying for that. You have water, you have electricity, you have Wi-Fi, you have a phone, you have all these things. And so just having a really simple, I guess you could say, simple discussion about expectations, I guess I'm going to say, that really helps overcome some of those issues and some of those, I guess you could say, high expectations that they have, that they're going to make so much money. And so even the last couple of days in class, we've been looking at what jobs they want to do and then the earnings. And so, we also been looking at, the low amount versus the high and the median, and the average, just so they can kind of get a good understanding of, and to them, it's still a lot of money, but then we go in to say, okay, well, taxes has to come out, insurance has to come out. And so I think just opening up really good basic conversations to address all of these issues and misunderstandings, I'm going to say, really helps a lot.
With the 6th grade, I think it was enlightening. I think that it really made them start thinking about, especially when we start talking about needs and wants, and then we kind of piggybacked that with a career and the salary and how much they make, and then we broke that down into a monthly aspect, and then we started thinking about, we did a budget of how much does it cost to where you live, and it starts making them think, wow, this does not go very far, and it doesn't go as far as we thought it would. And then we start talking about when we went into insurance, okay, well, let's add that on there. And let's put that back into our budget and let's see where we fit there. And can we afford all of that? And I think it just kind of makes them start maybe appreciating a little bit more about what their parents do and how much they pay for, and those kind of things.
Smart shopping is all about budgeting, right? And it's so important that you understand what goes into a budget. But there are other things that are super important as well. Like, for example, here in Connecticut, we have a sales tax. So, and I know not all, I think every state but 5 have a sales tax. So it's super important for me to teach that to my kids, because they need to understand that no matter what they buy, they have to include the tax in the budget. They have to include that sales tax. So I do a whole thing on that. And then also too, like in Connecticut, we have a bottle tax. We now have a grocery tax. So on prepared foods, they're getting charged 7.35%. So I'm teaching them all of those things so they can incorporate that into their budget. And I have kids come back to me and they say, oh, man, I went to the mall thinking, I didn't think until I actually got to the store with my $50. And then I realized I don't have enough money now because I didn't calculate sales tax like you told me to. And then I have a lot of kids who are starting to go to the grocery stores with their families, and they're teaching their family how to shop using the unit price. And that's been really helpful.
One of the issues that they run in, especially at the middle school level, is just the level of vocabulary, I guess you could say, and then also comprehending those things. A lot of times when they are at the middle school level, they're thinking about their future, but they have not a clear goal in mind, I guess you could say. They all want to be athletes, but we're talking about, cream of the crop athletes. They all want to be, and they think that they're all making $1 million a year and things like that. And so I think that's one of the issues, is their comprehension of the real world, I guess you could say, but also understanding some of the vocabulary. And I think that's one way, that this is good for them to start hearing those words as well.
One of the biggest eye openers, I think, was whenever we started talking about credit scores. And when we started applying for a credit card, and then I walked them through this whole scenario, and it's always about this time of year because it's Super Bowl time, and we want to go out and we want to buy a TV. And I receive a credit card, and we've gotten it, and I make somebody's the banker and somebody's with me, and we're applying for the credit card, and then we buy the TV on our credit card, and then we get it for free for a month, and then all of a sudden the bills start coming in. And we start adding in, and I put a realistic number up there for the interest. And they only pay off $200, and we make an agreement with who we're paying it for. Can I only pay $200? Oh, sure. It's okay. Make that minimum payment, and allow them to just see we're never going to pay off that TV, and putting them into those kind of scenarios and allow them to see that, I think has been very eye-opening. A lot of them comment, and they even come back and comment about, I remember when we bought the TV, so.
I've told them, I wish that there was financial literacy when I was in 8th grade. And to think about, I do a little activity where I break them into groups. If they saved $1 a week, one group saves $1 a week, one group saves $5 a week, and 10. And by the time they are seniors in high school, and if we put it into a money market or stocks, or how much would they have by the end, so they can see it. It's just a little simulation, and they have fun, and they can't believe how much they can make, even if they set aside $1 a week by the time they graduate as seniors. So I think that's probably one of the issues that they don't fully understand. I think they understand savings and whatever maybe that they might have learned at home, but this way we can take it a step further.
Thank you so much to all of our teacher partners for sharing their perspective on why it's important to talk about financial wellness with your middle school students. Up next, I want to show you a quick preview video of what the FutureSmart resource looks like. One thing I also want to make sure is clear is that this program is completely cost-free for every educator in the United States, thanks to our partnership with the Mass Mutual Foundation. So that's right, you get access to this full curriculum at absolutely no cost. Let's see what the course covers.
By the time students reach middle school, they have already developed the capacity to understand complex economic concepts, make financial judgments, and assign value to purchases and brands. Yet, the majority of today's students don't have the money management skills they need to navigate the modern financial world. The Mass Mutual Foundation has partnered with EverFi to develop the FutureSmart digital course, which offers critical financial literacy for middle school students across the United States, absolutely free of charge. FutureSmart empowers students to effectively manage their finances, make sound decisions, and become financially responsible. After taking an initial financial personality quiz, students are elected mayor of their very own town, charged with helping the townspeople navigate personal financial challenges. Through a story-based narrative and interactive activities, students learn to make real-life decisions about their own personal finances, as well as how to achieve important goals around topics like saving money, education and career planning, and budgeting. Visit everfi.com/K-12 to learn more and get started with this free resource today.
Up next is the more hands-on portion of this learning lab. I'm going to walk you through the process of registering for your teacher account and giving access to FutureSmart to your current students. To get started, go to everfi.com/new teacher. Once you're on the page that says Education is Evolving, click the blue Register button on the lower right side. Then click where it says Teacher. Select the state for your school, then start typing the name of your school and it should automatically show up in the list here. After you select your school, click the Next button. Next, you'll just have to fill out your account details, so enter your first name, last name, your school email address, set up a password, confirm that password by making sure they match, then click where it says Select a Course and scroll down until you find FutureSmart. This will just be the first course that you add to your account. You can always add more resources once you log in. Click I agree to the terms, then Next. If you'd like to see a preview of the FutureSmart resource, click the button that says View Course. This will take you into a full student demo version of the entire program so you can see what it looks like firsthand. Click back to the home page and click on this Resources button. This is where you'll find all of the supplemental offline materials that supplement the FutureSmart digital lessons. So you'll find lesson plans, course outline, curriculum guide, and information about standards. I mentioned earlier that you might want to add additional resources to your EverFi account. In addition to the FutureSmart course, you have access to our full catalog. So click the Add Course button, and you'll see that all of our different programs are sorted by grade level and by topic area. So let's say I want to combine FutureSmart with Venture, which focuses on entrepreneurship. Click the green Add button, and on your home page, you'll see that you now have both FutureSmart and Venture on your account. Next, let's go over how to give your students access to both of these courses. Click the green Create Class button, then go ahead and give your class a name. I'm going to call mine Financial Wellness 2021. Select a start date. Let's go with April for Financial Literacy Month. Select a class size, and you can add in multiple grade levels if you need to. So for this sample class, I'm going to add 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Scroll to the bottom so we can combine FutureSmart with Venture. Click Add Courses, then click the checkbox on the Venture program. This will combine both of these courses under one registration code and give your students access to both whenever they register. Finally, go to the top right and click Create. You've successfully created your first EverFi class. This is the registration code that you'll need to give to your students for them to get started on both FutureSmart and Venture. Don't worry about writing this code down now, it'll always be saved for you on this Classes menu. One great feature of FutureSmart and all EverFi programs is that they have built-in automatically graded assessments. Click the Reports tab, then select whatever course you'd like to look at to see your students' progress and their individual assessment scores. These will be automatically transferred over here as soon as they complete each individual lesson. If you're looking for any additional help and support, click the Support button on your teacher dashboard. This will show you your local schools manager. They're always available for a quick phone call, answering questions via email, or even setting up a video chat to help walk you through any questions that you might have. Thank you again for joining us for today's Quick Learning Lab. You're all set now with the FutureSmart program, which gives you a great starting point to tackle financial wellness with your middle school students. If you're looking for additional information or more on-demand webinars, please visit us at everfi.com/K-12. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again.